YouTube and welcome back. Today we're going to do a full garage tour. Looking at these two cars, the ultimate Italian two-car garage. We've got the gated manual Murciélago. It is an absolute beast, so much fun to drive, and possibly the most impractical car you can think of, with no roof, 8 miles per gallon, and looks that will just stop anyone and make it impossible to go anywhere. Other than the Multipla, which also has stunning looks, but is incredibly practical, incredibly ugly, incredibly useful. So pretty proud of this two-car garage. Let's take a look at all of my cars, both in the current stable as well as the past cars I've owned. We're also gonna talk about two cars that are going for sale in the next month. One of them, spoiler alert, is this gated manual Murciélago. So if you're thinking about buying one and you're in the market, definitely stay tuned to Cars and Bids for this one. Plus one other, which I'm sure you can guess. Bye-bye Bentley, I feel like we've been here before. Last but not least, I will tease the car that I'm buying to replace this. We have a verbal agreement, although still have some steps to go before it's fully transacted, but I'm so excited about this, so stay tuned. Let's go ahead and wash each car, and I'll talk as I wash about what makes them special, how I maintain them, what it's been like to own them, and so much more. So let's do this. So this is a 2014 Porsche Cayenne GTS. The only Porsche in the fleet and probably the only Porsche I'd be interested in buying. That being said, this is a tremendous value. I have had this car, let's see, 5.5 years at this point. I bought it with 60,000 miles on the clock. It's now at 120,000, so I've doubled the miles. Nothing but oil changes. It's been dead reliable. The transfer case is really the only thing you gotta watch out for in these cars. I've done the fluid change a couple times and that's been sufficient. Porsche, in their infinite wisdom, said it was a lifetime fluid. That's definitely not the case, so most of the time you can just swap out the fluid, all the symptoms go away, but it was extended warranted and TSB'd by Porsche, so most of them have had this addressed that had any issues. But otherwise, I love this car. Plenty of room, plenty of space, panoramic sunroof, 21-inch wheels. I think it looks really cool. I paid 36 for it 5.5 years ago. I think it's worth about 20 grand now, but 20 grand for Porsche level refinement. And then I've done a few mods, which I'll show you here in a second. I upgraded to a 992 steering wheel, and I retrofitted CarPlay, as well as I did ghost lowering links to adjust the air suspension better. But otherwise, bone stock. All right, one down. That was about 20 minutes, but definitely the dirtiest car. So I gotta do 3 more, because the Bentley's at the mechanic. So let's keep going. This is my 2014 Ford Focus. We've had it since new in 2014. It doesn't get driven a lot, but it's a cheap, easy beater car that we loan out to family when they're visiting or when my wife wants to zip around without kids. So it stayed in the family mostly because it's worth more to us as a spare car when one of mine breaks than it would be to trade it in and get 3-4 grand for it. So kind of love the car in a weird way. It's fun, it's zippy, it looks decent. It's got the black pack. It's an automatic. It's just a car really, but because it gets driven so infrequently, all I really do is just soap it down like this, rinse it off, towel it, and call it a day. It's mostly just got like dust and raindrops on it from sitting outside, so makes it really easy to maintain. I get it once a year, oil change at Valvoline for 60 bucks, and that's really all it's needed. All done. That is the 2 black cars. I deeply regret getting black cars, especially for the 2 that happen to be parked outside, but they're pretty clean. This one is very minimal effort. I think I was in that about 10 minutes start to finish. So next up, my 1999 Fiat Multipla. There's a whole video that I posted last week about this, what it is, why it's so ugly, why it's so weird. It's still not registered, so I'm only driving it sparingly, but I have all the documents. They've been sent off to the DMV in Montana, so I'm hoping to get that back this week. It is still leaking oil, as you might have seen in my driveway, as well as power steering fluid. I have not fixed the door, so my next video will be fixing all the things broken with it, including an oil change. I just haven't had the time yet. So for now, it's kind of just being rolled around as is, slightly illegal, slightly broken, and a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and wash this. This will be the second wash I have, still getting a lot of the grime off from the cross-Atlantic shipping route. So I think this will continue to look better each time I do it. I just gotta say, I'm still madly in love with this car. The novelty hasn't worn off. We did an amazing photo shoot with the Murcie and the Multipla that I'm going to put on Instagram here in a minute, but it's just stupid and hilarious, and I love it so much. So, Filippo, I know you want the car, but I'm keeping it for a little while because it's just too much fun. And that brings me to my beloved Murcie. Yes, it's officially for sale. I'm no longer questioning if, because I already lined up the next car that I want to buy. So It's not if, it's when, and when it is right now. So this car's for sale. If you see this video and are interested, hit me up. Like I said, I will be taking it in for a final photography shoot this week. It'll go to the Cars and Bids headquarters, and if no one speaks for it this week, it's gonna go on the site. Doug's gonna review it. It's gonna get a lot of eyeballs, so we'll be really curious if it does go to the site what the first manual converted Murcie goes for on the public markets. And this one's been absolutely brilliant. With 1,500 miles on it, I think I've proven that the swap works great, that there are no flaws or issues, and that whoever's buying this is saving them over $50,000 worth of parts and labor, plus a lot of time and headaches and so on, shipping it back and forth while you're in theirs, etc. So with all the service records, all the maintenance, how beautiful this car is, it's a perfect spec. I have both tops, I have all the manuals. It is as complete and pristine as a car you can get for a pre-LP Lamborghini Murciélago. So I'm not gonna try to sell it any further. All I wanna do right now is get it ready for photos, which means getting this outside super clean. I think this is it. I'm kind of sad. Car looks so cool. It's been such an amazing add to the stable. I have buyer's regret, except for the car I'm replacing it with is pretty darn special. So you'll have to stay tuned to that, but let's just say the seller rhymes with movie, and it might have been a bit of a fire sale. So leave your guesses or comments down below, but thank you for checking out my garage. Stay tuned for a little bit more of the past cars, all of that jazz, but I'm so pumped that this is my garage. Very fortunate, very lucky. Work hard and stay in school, kids. Peace. Let's just quickly go over the past cars. Gen 1 V8 R8, absolutely love that car. My first supercar, bought it during COVID, paid 58, sold it for 68. It had 73,000 miles, but that motor's in the RS4 or the RS5, very stout. Loved it. It had a straight pipe on it, so it sounded ridiculous. Special color, special car. In San Francisco, currently still living the life. Murciélago, you know, we've talked about it. The RS4 actually was my first project car. I bought it from a dealer auction for like 16 grand. It needed a lot of TLC, but nothing mechanical, just was missing emblems, the seats were falling apart, etc. Ended up selling it for about 23K. Had a lot of fun doing it. It had 143,000 miles on it, but never missed a beat. Carbon clean, D-flap, all the RS4 mods. So super fun car and really got the wheels turning on, having a sidecar that you just fix and flip. Cayenne daily, you'll see that in a minute. The XP8, my high school dream car, I drove a 95 Explorer, was the XP8. It's the ultimate version of the Explorer, supercharged 5-liter V8, magnesium wheels, body kit, carbon hood. It is super rad. In fact, so rad it won Raddest Car at Radwood back in 2022. Hope to repeat that with the Multipla, but missed that car. It sold on Cars and Bids for a record for the XP8 at the time. I think it was 23 grand. It's now living its retirement life in Florida with a big collection of other American muscle cars. B7 S4, I tracked the heck out of this car. It had a big brake kit. I think I went through 10 sets of wheels. I had R compounds, pretty much every mod you can think of for this car. It definitely compromised the daily drivability for it, but it sounded good, it looked good, and in your early 20s, you can live with a rough ride for having that hot boy experience. I missed that car tremendously. I sold it to another enthusiast who sold it to another person who then got T-boned by a drunk driver. So sadly, it was in Copart, it's gone. It's a parts car at best. TTRS. Doug likes to tease me. I blew the motor on it with the money shift. That never happened. Where I did fry the piston rings, I think it was the tune. Regardless, we sent it off to Vegas. It got the motor rebuilt, big turbo, 500 wheel horsepower, dyno verified, had HREs, Euro Recaro wingbacks. It is in West Virginia now, currently living its life. I miss that car as well, but blowing a motor and having it rebuilt does kind of ruin the experience in terms of how you look at the car. You never really trust it again. 82 Audi Coupe, that was our Lemons car. I think we raced in 8 different races. Blew either the motor or the trans every single time, but it looked super cool. I made really great friends. It was definitely like a formative experience. Learned a lot about wrenching, pulling motors in and out. We had some fun with social media. I'm still in touch with a lot of that crew today. B7A4, that was my first real car as a working professional. I did S6 LEDs, modded it a ton, but it was the front wheel drive and CVT model. It was only a matter of time before I blew the trans. So the first promotion I got at work, I went to an S4 basically. P38, there's a whole series on that. I think you can watch it and catch the drift, but I missed that car. That's the one car I would go back and buy again. In fact, I was the underbidder just last week on a Borrego Edition one just like it. So These cars are super cool. Everyone's obsessed with the RRC, which was the model before it, but in my opinion, the P38 is the way to go. You get less problems with the rust and so on. I think it looks just as cool. Fight me on that one. It is just an all-around better package. QP5, the Maserati Quattroporte, also did a lot of content on that, so I will keep it short, but absolutely cool car, Ferrari-derived V8, sounds amazing, looks really cool. I think the design was way ahead of its time. I drove that for a while. It was pretty heavy on maintenance, although the new owner says that it's been really good to him, so I think I shook out all the bugs. But great car for under 20K as a daily. Maybe a little bit boring in terms of the level of drama and excitement I typically look. I go after really unreliable but really raw and exotic cars, and this car was just like a good car. So if you're interested, get a ZF transmission one, a later one that has revised cam variators, and you're good to go. Last but not least, the Bentley. It is not here. It's not going to be part of this video because it's at the mechanics. It's been there for another week. It now runs, which is an improvement, but I've got a check engine light, an ABS light, a brake light, and then a exclamation point, which just tells you something's wrong, but it doesn't even pinpoint what. So I asked them to try to clear all those so that I can then sell it on Cars and Bids. Until then, I'm just waiting on them to fix it, but I've got too many cars, not enough garage spaces, so if they want to sit on it for a week, it's free storage.